What's going on, guys? This is Aaron from Departures Capital. We're here with Quentin Martin, CEO of Luckbox. How are you doing today, Quentin?
Hi, Aaron. Very well, thank you. Absolute pleasure to be here.
Yeah, excited to have you on. Excited to have, talk about your awesome company. So, it's going to be a new IPO. Really exciting. Luckbox is a fully licensed global esports betting platform. Can you tell us a bit more about the company?
Sure. So, the company started a little over 2 years ago. Our fully bespoke website has been live in soft launch for the better part of a year. We're headquartered on the Isle of Man between Britain and Ireland. And we focus on exactly how kind of a DraftKings or a Bet365 allows you to bet on traditional sporting events like soccer or hockey. Our brand is specialized about offering people the opportunity to bet on esports, which are competitive video game tournaments. Esports is about a $1.4 billion industry globally last year, and esports betting adjacent to that is about $1.25 billion. So it's the single largest revenue stream in esports and growing at 44% year on year.
Awesome. So, esports has been gaining some pretty serious momentum. Can we talk a little bit about what's happening in the industry and the market opportunity for Luckbox?
Sure. So, as I alluded to earlier, the industry has been growing substantially over the last few years at 44% year on year. But 2020 just exploded that. I mean, we are blessed to be in an industry that has proven itself not only to be resilient to esports, to COVID, as tournaments transitioned online and everyone was at home. But traditional sports cancelled, esports the only sports in the first half of this year. But there was absolutely no setback for the betting side of things. So business has been absolutely booming. And for Luckbox, at the start of this year, we saw our betting volume increase by about 500% as a result of COVID. And we've retained about 75% of that still. So it's really just accelerated the industry and Luckbox a year or two into the future.
That's amazing. It's amazing how some industries just, do so well due to this unfortunate time. But it's awesome to be where you guys are. So Luckbox has an Isle of Man gaming license. So what's the significance of holding this type of license?
Sure. So to really simplify things, there are two types of licenses in the gambling world. And before I get into it, gambling is one of the most regulated industries on the planet in exactly the same way as banking or finance. You have to know your customer, do anti-money laundering, responsible gambling. Everything you can think of is exactly the same. And the licenses directly affect where you can accept customers. We've got what's called an offshore license, which means we accept customers from about 80 territories around the world. About a third of the world we can accept players from. On one spectrum, you've got kind of cowboy licenses. These are classified by, say, the Curacao license out of the Dutch Antilles in the Caribbean. These take a few weeks to get, only maybe $25,000, and they're not really worth the paper they're printed on because you did no police background check. You didn't have to do an audit. You weren't subject to massive due diligence or have to put a wealth of customer verification software on your site. The result of which is that most payment processes won't work with you, but you'll have struggled to make good banking relationships. And payment processes are how your customers give you money, essentially. The flip side of that are the pedigree licenses such as Malta or the Isle of Man. We have the Isle of Man license. It's renowned for having one of the best player protections, first and foremost, around the globe, which is really important to us. So heaven forbid anything should happen to Luckbox, all players' funds are kept in a completely secure, untouchable account that gets returned to players immediately. So that, and that's very important for us as kind of industry gambling veterans to make sure we had that. And secondly, it affords much, it comes with 2 to 3 years of getting your tech stack ready and fully compliant, and that affords a massive moat, like a barrier to entry for everyone else in the space. But it also means that you have 2 to 4 times the number of payment processes as these cowboy licenses, and you can scale, and it allows you to be purchased by big gambling companies and all sorts of benefits.
Very interesting. So, apart from a premier gaming license, what else differentiates Luckbox from other companies in the industry? Because we know it is a very booming industry.
Sure. So there are maybe 5 really good competitors similar to us in the space. And really what differentiates us from them and then the rest of the field, first and foremost, is our product. So as I said, the website is completely proprietary with a multiplicity of third parties integrated in the back end to meet those regulatory and compliance needs, and also the challenges of the nascent esports space. But the front end, it looks beautiful. We have live streaming for 95% of matches, so you can watch and bet in real time on both mobile and desktop. But more importantly, and this might sound trivial, We have as close to 100% of esports matches to be bet on as anybody in the world. And the reason for that is that why that's difficult is that esports is nascent. You have to work on maybe 20 titles with tournament organizers and publishers in Asia, in Europe, in LATAM, in North America. Most sportsbooks only offer about 50% coverage, so 1 in 2 matches. Companies like, I won't list details, but that's really what sets us aside. And apart from that, the team, I think we've got by far the most experienced team in the space when it comes to gambling expertise, because of the importance of all those compliance and regulations and the licensing. If I touch about my background, I started life as a professional gamer. 8 years playing poker for a living, 8 years as UK #1 at Magic the Gathering, Canadian #1 when I lived over there. Any early esports I could play, and then I went on to do about 10 years in the 20 years or 15 years in the gambling industry at Giant Poker Stars, which was bought by Flutter in a $20 billion market cap deal. I was general manager, one of the general managers there, and that kind of pedigree, working on 26 gambling licenses, and the team we've built up as a result of that come from 888, Playtech, other just giants. We've got so much experience in the space, and it's so important. And if I draw comparisons to, say, Unicorn, which is one of the market leaders out there, which will hopefully surpass in the next couple of years, they started 5 years. They had a 5-year head start on us. It was only 2 years ago that they got the same license, a decent license, the same one we do. And they, what I like to say is, they raised maybe 10 times more money than us privately. They're still private. And we caught up with them in 2 years, which is what they did in 5 with a tenth of the funds. And that's straight down to that experience in the gambling space.
Amazing. So, you guys have hit some pretty impressive milestones this year already. Can you tell us a bit about what the company has accomplished and what you guys have been up to this year?
Sure. So I touched one of the highlights, 500% growth in our bet volume at the start of the lockdown. Again, 75% of that retained. We've also launched with Income Access, one of the gambling industry's largest affiliate platforms. We went live with, we're now translated in 6 languages, so English, French, English, German, Spanish, Portuguese, Russian, and Chinese to really give us that global reach. We just soft launched traditional sports, so the addition of 100 regular sports that can be bet upon. That's in our early days. And kind of almost the crowning achievement most recently was in the EGR Awards a few weeks ago. Those are the Oscars of the gambling industry. We won one of their headline titles, Rising Star, essentially making us the #1 company to watch in the gambling space for 2021. And that's out of the whole gambling space, not just esports. So, super privileged to win that, and a great achievement for Luckbox.
Sounds great. So, what can investors expect from Luckbox in 2021 then?
Well, we're public now, as you say, with the ticker Luck as of yesterday. So frantically hitting refresh on that still. Great opening day. Primarily, certainly for the first 6 months and expanding that to the first 12 is explosive growth in our existing business. That involves both hiring. So we expect to grow the team by approximately 50%, focusing on growing our marketing capabilities and some of our leadership, but also investing at least 2 million in user acquisition and really just growing globally to be a dominant player in the space. And then following that, the latter half of the year, probably some deal flow to take advantage of the fact that we're only the 3rd publicly traded company, esports betting, and the only pure play esports betting company globally.
Well, I'm excited to cover your story. And lastly, how can investors get in touch with the company or, with you to find out more information?
Sure. The easiest way is going to be to email investment@luckbox.com.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time and look forward to covering the story. It's an awesome industry.
Cool. Thanks very much, Aaron. It's going to be an incredible year.
All right, guys, that wraps up the video. Thank you so much for watching. I just wanted to say, if you do support me, the channel, and all these videos, then kindly smash that like button along with hitting the subscribe button and the bell for notifications for future videos. I did also want to say, check the disclaimer down below. This video was sponsored by the company that we are talking about today. So check the disclaimer, full disclosure, and we're out of here. Always remember, guys, Departures Capital is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. Don't buy or sell a stock because you heard it on here. Buy or sell a stock because you've done your research, you've done your thorough due diligence, and you make your own personal investment decisions for yourself. This video is not financial advice. We'll see you guys in our next video.